Hello, we are going to get started on our division with decimals. Today's lesson, though, we are going to not even include decimals. We're going to stick with whole numbers to practice that division skill again. If you don't have your agenda out or a multiplication table, I suggest getting the one in your multiplication or in your agenda out. It's on page 139. See down here, 139 and on. This is going to come in handy with division so that you're not getting held up on the multiplication end, since those two operations go hand in hand. Super useful. I'm letting you use it. So, slow motion with my video here. We are going to start with some estimating. I think having some number sense allows us to know if our answers make sense. So these ones are just starting problems for us to be able to see where our answer should be close to. I'm not going to actually solve these completely. So if I look at this first one, 105 divided by 10, I'm going to think of this as 100. When we're estimating, you should round numbers to whole numbers or numbers that you know divide nicely. And 100 divided by 10, my answer is going to be approximately 10. Because 10 times 10 is how I get 100. I put the squiggly line because that means approximately. And you could even use your multiplication table to help you with this. Going down the 10 lane until I get to 100, and then going out to 10. So 10 times 10 is how we get to that 100. Estimating on my next one, I'm going to make this into 40 because I know that 38 and 40, I don't know off the top of my head, but 38 is really close to 40. So 40 divided by 4, again, I could use my multiplication table, or I know that 40 divided by 4 is also approximately 10. This last one is a little bit trickier. This 1 is throwing me off. This might not be something that comes to mind right away, but I'm going to round it to 240, just get rid of the 1. And I know that 8 and 24 have a relationship. I can see it on my multiplication table. 8 goes into 24 3 times. And I covered a 0, so I'm going to have to put that 0 back on. So I said 3, but really it's 30 times because we're dealing with 240. So I put that approximately sign out front. Estimating is just a nice skill to have so that you can make sense of your answer. So my answer should be close to these if I actually solved them out. Let's dive into actually finding the answer, not doing any rounding, and seeing our division skills. So we're going to use long division is what it's traditionally called. If I want to see how many 9s are in 351, that's what division means. So 351 divided by 9. That means I want to put the 9 outside my bracket because I want to see how many fit into 351. This is where sometimes graph paper can come in handy, or if you have a notebook, you can turn your notebook sideways. And then I have lanes so that I stay inside the lanes of my notebook. I'll model this one on here so you can see how I'm doing this. So 9 goes into 3. Oh, 9 doesn't fit into 3. So that means I can put a 0 up on top. The 0 won't change my answer. So instead I have to look in 9 into 35. And this is where your multiplication table is going to come in handy. I can go down the 9 lane, and I'm trying to get to 35. So I can go. Oh, too much at 36. So I'm going to go back up to 27, and then I'm going to go across. And it tells me that 9 times 3 is how I get that 27. So now I'm going to go back to my problem. I fit 9 into 35 3 times, so I put it above the 5. And I have to subtract 27 because 9 times 3 is 27. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract that. We have to do some borrowing. And I know I did it right because now I have 8 left and 9 can't fit into 8. So that means I took out as many 9s as I could. I need to pull down the 1 that's still up on top. And now I'm looking 9 into 81. And again, I can use my multiplication table. Sorry, my video is behind my speech here. So 9, I'm going to go down, 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 down. Oh, 81's actually on here. 9 goes into 81 9 times. So when I go back to my original problem, 9 fit into 81 9 times, and 9 times 9 is 81. I subtract, I have nothing left over. So this means that my answer here is 39. The 0 out front doesn't change it to a different value, so my answer is 39. See how having the notebook can be helpful in just keeping everything organized so that you're writing on top of the numbers you're supposed to write on. Let's set up our next one. 684 into 18. So let's put the 18 outside the bracket. Technically, I should have probably had that in 2 lanes. And 684 inside. I would use your multiplication table. Your one in your agenda is really nice because it has the 18 is included on that multiplication table. I would encourage you to pause to try solving and then seeing my work as I go through. So I am going to ask you to pause. So when I go down the 18 lane, I'm trying to get 18 into 68. Oh, excuse me. That's why we work in pencil. Doesn't go into 6, but it will go into 68. So if I go down my 18 lane, 72 is too big. So I can only get 3 18s. And I'm subtracting 54. 18 doesn't fit into what I have left over of 14. So I did that right. I'm going to pull my other 4 down. I'm going to go back to my multiplication table, go down, down, down. I'm looking for 144 this time. Great. It goes in perfectly. Goes in 8 times. And I can subtract. I have nothing left over. That means I have my answer of 38. All right, I want to model one more problem that's even bigger here. So 26 is not on our multiplication table, and I want you to understand how to tackle those when we don't have a multiplication table to us. So 26, you could do this in the notebook again. I know that 26 doesn't fit into the 9, so I'm going to be looking at 94. It's not on my multiplication table. 26, I have to think about how many do I think I could fit into 94. And so 26, I don't know how to count by 26s very well, but I can count by 25 pretty well. 25, 50, 75, 100 would be too much. So I think I can get 3. I don't know what that is, so I have to solve 26 times 3 off to the side. So 3 times 6 is 18, carry the 1, 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 more is 78. So 78 is as close as I can get to 94, and that was 3 of them. So the 3 goes on top, and I'm subtracting 78 from 94. I'll let my video get caught up here. So I have 16 left over. 26 doesn't fit into 16. Good, I did that part right. I'm going to pull down the next number. And when I look at this one, 26 into 169, I'm not sure off the top of my head. Again, I'm going to count by 25s because I'm more used to money and quarters. So 25, 50, 75, 100, 125, 150, 175 is going to be too much. So I got to 6. I'm going to try 26 times 6. So 6 times 6, 36. 6 times 2 is 12. 15, 156. That looks as close as I'm going to get. I'm going to subtract it. And I have one more value to bring down. So 130, so 26, so 25, 50, 75, 100, 125. So it looks like I can maybe get 5. So 5 times 6 is 30, 5 times 2 is 10, 13. Oh, look at that, it works perfectly. I have nothing left over. That means I must have did my problem right. And I get an answer of 365. All right, last little problem here. Now, finally, this one's in your textbook. So I'm on page, I don't know my page. All right, found my page. We are on page 216 for you to do these. All right, so I would pause, I would solve, and then I'll get the answers on here for you as well. So go ahead and pause it. You try these. So A, I got 96. Sorry, you can't see my work here. And then the next one is already set up in the format that